That's great. In fact, because when when you said what you said, and I'm like, people will just think everything was rosy. In fact, even expressing these challenges looks like a one-page discussion, but indeed, when they sit with you, it's like a whole book.
It took years.
Yeah.
It took years. It took None of this happened in a year. It took years.
And we thank God for the birth. So now, looking at, you made mention of NGOs that came and all of that. So it happened that you were able to have this connect. Now let's come to the place of government. How can government support the growth of the agro processing industry in Africa? I don't know if by any chance you've been able to, liaise with government, even in your environment.
Well, for the most part of it, government, no. I've not had anything to do with government so far. Maybe in the future, maybe this year, but sincerely, so far, I've not had anything to do with the government. But then, the government can come in infrastructure development, probably create a hub, right, where food processors can process, package, and sell to their clients, right? Not everybody has the strength to push. Not everybody has the strength to push, right? So if the government can, because there are a lot of people who are willing to go into food processing, but sincerely, the equipment are not cheap. They are not cheap. The certifications are not cheap. Moreover, I forgot to mention before we could get into the international market, we had to do our some certifications, which includes HACCP and US FDA, Food Drug Administration. And we have our NAFDAC, we have our SON as well. So all those certifications are not cheap, but and most of the certifications requires that you have some type of equipment. I know there are personal organizations that do that as business, and for us too, I know NAFDAC has said to us, okay, we can do it as well, but we are not ready, even though we do for some, but we are not ready to do it as a full-time business. Let's concentrate on us first. Let's build first. Let's make sure there are no loopholes before we can fully say, okay, we want to do this as business. So that's one of the major things. Then access to finance. This one, it's just the best the government can do for processors. If for instance, one can have a contract and they will say, okay, we'll pay you after you deliver, and you start running helter skelter. For people that are just starting, who don't have collateral, who don't have um, where to source this money from, it's going to be like, I got it and I lost it, right? I got the deal and I lost it because I couldn't deliver. So if the government can make this access to finance easy, I'm sure a lot of people will scale. Well,
I can imagine.
yeah,
It's actually not it, especially when you don't have the adequate resources and they're not ready to trust you with
yeah.
their money. Some might not even pay. Some may pay 40% or 60, while some may not even pay anything at all. It can be
True,
very, very,
true.
very challenging. All right, so what policies will best promote the adoption of African superfoods in the global market?
Okay, standardization and certification, just like I mentioned earlier. You need to standardize your products and get all the necessary certifications. And also there are export incentives actually from Nigeria Export Promotion Council, which a lot of people don't know about. So if you export your produce legally, formally, there are incentives. There are incentives to this. and also branding and promotion of African products internationally. It's one of the policies that will best promote the adoption of African superfoods. Then, lastly, support for value addition. It hurts so bad that we need to export cocoa and import chocolate. That we export cocoa and import chocolate. So if this is made as a policy where we can only export finished goods, not raw materials, goods that has value has been added to them, I think that will be one of the best things that will happen to us. Not exporting the raw materials. It's like giving ourselves away. But if we add value to it and export it, sure, we'll go a long way.
So, in this view now, with what you just said, what would you say? How can partnership with governments and businesses improve the sector? Because you are a business owner, there are other business owners, and we also have the place of government. When this partnership comes into play, what do you think will happen in this sector?
Okay, so for government can bring in policy support, infrastructure, and funding frameworks, while businesses can bring in innovation, efficiency, and market access. When these two come together, they build processing hubs, like I mentioned earlier, they improve supply chains, create jobs, and expand exports.
Hmm. And then the border is open to everybody. There's lights, especially in the African community.
Yeah. Yes, the synergy ensures that growth is both sustainable, competitive on a global level.
Right. So to young ones or anyone who is thinking of starting or has started and is like, okay, I think I don't want to continue again. I know you've shared your experience, your resilience, your commitment, your good connect, your husband as your strong support, and all of that. Perhaps some of those people do not have those things. What would you say to them?
Okay, if you're in Nigeria, I would say, okay, there's this hub they call Technology Incubation Center. It's one place where you can actually get support as a business owner who is a starter. Then there are different hubs nationwide that support startups. And also, there are a lot of grant opportunities out there. There are lots and lots of grant opportunities out there. There are lots and lots of free trainings out there. You just need to connect with the right people, connect with the right associations, because joining an association is very important. Belonging to an association is very important because opportunities come also from associations where they will say, okay, we need these people who are into food processing or who are into um, um, different fields, right? They look for them, and it's either there's funding for them or there's equipment for them. Just be rightly positioned. That's what I would say. Because when the first entry came to see my place, they saw everything. They were looking for people who were into cowpea processing. And when they came, they saw what I was doing and they appreciated it. And that was when they supported me. At least they saw something, right? Not that I told them, okay, yes, I do it, but I don't have anything on ground. No, always have something. Always go about with your product. Be proud of your product. And you should have a social media platform um where people can reach you. And sometimes most of these grants we apply for, they ask for our social media links. They go there and they check what you post. Now, I would say I've been saying this right now. Our social media platforms are our CVs. So if you allow people just tag you anyhow,
Yes.
and maybe someone wants to give you some dollars and goes to your page to see people tagging you on anything and you allow it. I do a lot of untagging. Sorry, I do a lot of if I see you tag me on something that is not necessary, I untag
Mm.
because that is my sincerely. So
Yes.
possible, it is possible to start small and grow. It is possible. It might not be easy. It will not be easy, but it is possible to grow. If I can do it, I know how I started. Like I said, I started from my kitchen with 5,000. I started when I was doing the milling, the packaging, the washing, the everything. I was the accountant, I was the social media manager. I was I was everything. I was everything. Right now, I only give instructions. I don't even have to give instructions. Sometimes they know what to do. We started from one. I added another person when it started growing. And sincerely, to the glory of God, now we have grown. When we have peak productions, we have over 150 contract staff. This is aside the permanent staff we have. Yes.
That's
So
really great.
if I can do if I
Yes.
can do it sincerely, any other person can do it
Mm.
as
Thank you
long as
so
you put,
so much. Yeah, finish your word. As long as what?
you put your mind to it.
Yeah. Yes, as long as we put our minds to it, whatever it is, because that's actually what will keep you going. And I think people should also come to a point that I can't afford to fail. It's very important to maybe
Yeah.
when you think about I don't want to fail, you have to get up. The same way people go for their 9 to 5 jobs, and you know that if you don't go, you don't get to eat. So even when you're sick, you want to be there, right? So as a business owner, there is no break, there is no until the results start showing, and then you can be giving yourself a little, but not all that. So thank you so much, Marian. I really appreciate your time, and I look forward to another time with you.
Yes, you're always
Let's
welcome.
be in advance.
You're always
All
welcome.
right. Thank you so much. Thank you. And to
Thank
you
you.
out there, thank you too for being part of the show. I hope you've been able to learn one or two things. Starting a business, yes, it may look nice in the first instance, but as the journey progresses, it may look difficult. But as long as you're committed to what you're doing and you know that if you stay with it, you stick it out, you're going to achieve the success that you desire. So until next time, when I come your way again with another exciting topic, be safe.